Well, hey, my name is Rebekah Fowlkes, and I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. And earlier today, I was working on a corporate call for the field that was all on Instagram. And through some technical difficulties, it did not record. And I kept having messages saying I was watching some of it, and it went off, and they didn't have the recording. And so I figured I had all my stuff, and so I would just re-record it quickly. So, kind of quickly, but I wanted to share with y'all, and I really feel like the most helpful part of this is when I talk about the Instagram stories, because I feel like that's something that I just get lots and lots of questions on from my team, and so I wanted to give y'all some information with that. And I have my phone handy and ready to screen share and kind of walk y'all through how to use those Instagram stories, because that's where I'm seeing such a bang for my buck with Instagram. I've been on Instagram for like 10 years, like since it came out. I just always loved Instagram. I love that it's pictures and it's just pictures, and people are sharing even articles and stuff. It's just fun. And so I loved it for a long time. But what I want y'all to see is that it's not just fun. It can be a huge tool for your business. And so if I get kind of like, here's what you need to be doing, and you're thinking, we're overthinking this, it's just Instagram. I want you to think about, in network marketing, you are a marketer. And so you are marketing yourself just as much as you're marketing Plexus. And so think about this when you're putting yourself out there on social media, because it, again, can be such a great tool for y'all. So when I'm posting on Instagram or any form of social media, I want to make sure that but especially Instagram right now, I want to make sure that I'm really intentional. I'm being really purpose-filled in what I'm posting, and I'm kind of putting everything through the filter of, does this encourage, does it educate, or does it entertain? And if it doesn't do one of those three, I really don't need to put it out there. And that's hard, because I'm a mama. I would love to just put a bunch of pictures of my kids, or if I'm at the baseball field, I want to show every at bat and every little thing that they're doing out there. And I think that's fun. Or I'm sure if you've got kids in the preschool program, you're thinking, I want to show every picture from their preschool performance and all those things. But if you're really doing this attraction marketing, you have to think about, how am I adding value to others? And so maybe it's a little clip of that that's really fun or really cute, or something crazy happens at the preschool performance. And so you share that. But to really kind of think about, why am I sharing this? Who's my target demographic? Who am I wanting to attract? What are they going to think about this? And so it kind of makes you overthink what you're posting. And one thing that I've done recently, just in the last couple of weeks, is all my pictures that I've been posting, I've been putting a little white border around them. And I think that looks cute and fun, whatever, for like kind of the aesthetic of my, when you look at my feed. But one of the main reasons that I did it is it kind of makes me pause before. I'm not just going to impulsively post. It makes me go, I have to edit the picture, I have to put the border on, and that takes me a little bit longer. And so during that time, I'm kind of just a reminder to ask myself, why am I posting this? And so maybe there's little things that you could do for yourself to be thinking, what could I do to make sure that I'm not just saying, oh, it's 2:00, I haven't posted anything today, what can I throw up there? Like, if there's nothing for me to post that day, I just don't post. Like, that's okay. And to be honest, like with Instagram, and I love reading up on social media. And so I see different things that say, post 2 times a day, post 3 times a day. You can post 5 to 7 times a day. I see all kinds of different things. That for my personal engagement, I've noticed that if I will post 1 picture a day, that is where I get the most bang for my buck. And if I try to post like several, I don't know if I'm competing with myself in the algorithms like I am on Facebook or what, but I know that I'm missing out. And so, okay, so that I'm going to jump into here with just a few things about Instagram 101. One of those would be, you're going to want a public profile, because you want people to be able to find you. And my husband's in law enforcement. He's literally been the person that takes apart, people's phones to show you how to do all these crazy, things that they've done on social media. And so he's protective about social media. And so I get in we have lots of conversations, I'll just say about that. So I get the privacy factor. And if you're wondering, what, oh, my whole room back there showing, sorry, real life. But I understand if you're not wanting to show pictures of your kids and pictures of, to public. I get that. So if that is just really going to stop you in your tracks, then maybe think about making a new Instagram that's just for social media and really building a new platform and a new brand through that. But if you're not going to be public, a lot of this really isn't going to help, because whereas Facebook's great because it's this way to reach a lot of your warm market. And of course, if you're getting in groups and all that, then you're expanding your network on Instagram, on Facebook. But I see Instagram as really the big tool for being able to reach people that you don't know and finding common ground with people and using hashtags and being able to just find a lot of commonality with people. And so in doing that, I want to be make sure that when someone comes to my page, they're not immediately knowing that I'm selling something. I really get at least one person a week that asks me, do I want to be a brand rep for them, and they're in MLM, or, would I want to try their keto drink or something? And I actually kind of take it as a compliment, because I'm like, they don't know that I sell Plexus, and I do talk about Plexus a lot more in my stories, and I do put Plexus stuff on my wall. You'll see it on there. I don't want people to be able to look at my feed and immediately know that I'm selling Plexus. So whether it's a post that does not have my pink drink in it, or bottles, or a graphic or something, I may have a picture of something else and I'm talking about Plexus and how it's helped me or someone that I know in the comments. And so in my content, my body post or whatever. So anyway, I encourage you to think about that when you're making your name. Like, I wouldn't really want like Plexus Mama or, pink drinking in Scottsdale or anything like that, because people are going to immediately know you sell something. And so before they get to know you, before they get to hear all the awesome things about Plexus, they're going to be going, oh, she sells something, I'm out of here. And you don't want that. You don't want that. You want them to the chance to lean in and go, okay, well, maybe tell me more. You want to create that curiosity. So I would be careful about that. I wouldn't really have my Shop Plexus website on there, or anything that just says, Plexus or pink. Like, that's just what I would do. So that's just a tip. You can make your own decision on that. I would look at my feed. I would look at my, the pictures, like when you first are logging on to your Instagram and you're seeing all those, like can you kind of see, I'm going to show you about that. You can kind of see all the squares, and I'm going to show you a better look at that in just a second. But when you're looking at that, the aesthetics matter. And so does it need to be picture perfect? No, because it's still real life and all that. But being pretty, that the feed looks nice, that matters. So like, if you can have your crispest picture and it's not blurry and you're not, they're all like good pictures, and that maybe you can kind of pay attention to, some people really care about like the filter and the lighting and all those things. And you can decide how much do you care about that. That's not something that I've really focused on. But I'm attracted to those feeds. I think they're so pretty, they have like, the filters. There's this one app, it's called VCOS, and it basically allows you to filter any picture to kind of have the same look about it. And so there's just this continuity, and it's streamlined, a lot of brand consistency, and you look at that and you're attracted to that. It's kind of like when we get brand new bottles from Plexus and we're like, oh, look, now it's got all the watercolor stuff on it too. And so we're like, yay, we're happy about that. We're like, oh, it's so pretty. Like, it's kind of the same thing. We're in the market. So you kind of want it to put your best foot forward. And if that's not your thing, don't stress on it. It's just something to kind of be aware of. But when you look at kind of those first 12 pictures, it's almost like you're at a mall in a new town, and it's your storefront, and you're walking by these stores that you've never heard of, and you kind of peek in the window and say, do I want to shop in there? and you kind of see what you see. And when people are looking at your Instagram, maybe you've used a hashtag, or you've commented on someone, you said something funny and it drew them in, or you were a recommended user, or you ended up in their stories or something like that. And they go look at your first few pictures and they say, do I want to follow her? Do I want to follow him? And so kind of I'm looking at my pictures sometimes thinking, would that draw me in or push me away? And so just do that. Would you want to follow yourself? Maybe you look at some other accounts that have, maybe you look at some hashtags that might just kind of co-line with things that you would be posting about, and see what is it that you like about some of those accounts. What is it that you don't like about some of them? Are there some, I'll go on before I go on like a vacation or something, or if I'm going to a new town or anything like that, and I'll look for hashtags, whether it's, Nashville, if I'm going there, if I'm going to the beach, vacay or beach, or the name of the beach, whatever. I'll even look on Pinterest, beach pics or something. And if I see pictures that I like, I'll copy those. Like I'll like copy the idea, like there was a picture that I did when we were in the Dominican Republic. We did a Ruby retreat in February, and I was looking through pictures on the way there, and I was screenshotting ideas, and it was like two like really pretty beachy drinks, and they were kind of pushed together against the, blue sea backdrop. I thought it was so fun. And so I just copycatted it. Several accounts, maybe they've got a quote and I'll remake the quote and then put my own content, or they've got like a story that reminds me of a story or something that I could post about. It's okay to be a copycat, maybe don't steal all their content word for word or their picture, but it can inspire you on how to do your account. Hashtags are so great. That is a way for people to filter through and organize different ideas and be able to, like, if you're someone that I'm a baseball mom, so I'm going to use a lot of hashtags about baseball and ball life and ball, USSSA, or the different things, travel ball and home run hitter or whatever, and all these different things. And I can click on those and go find accounts that are kind of similar to mine. And I am typically looking for hashtags that have about 5,000 to 100,000. That's kind of the world that I stay in, because if you get some of those that have like 1 million, you do fun or sports or Insta photo or anything like that, you're going to be in such a big just ocean of people that your stuff might not get seen. But if it's one of those smaller hashtags, well, you might show up as like one of the top posts that has is utilizing that hashtag. And so that can be really helpful, because then you're going to stand out to other people. They might see your post and say, oh, I like that, or that reminds me of something in my life. They might relate to that. And so I look for hashtags that have about that many. There's, kind of who I am. There's several things that I do often, whether it's baseball or CrossFit or travel or mom life or lake life or anything like that. So because I know that I'm going to be posting things about those topics, in the notes section of my phone, I have hashtag groupings. And so if I have CrossFit as a hashtag, well, yeah, I'm going to have CrossFit, Fit Mom, CrossFitter, CrossFit Girls, Strong Not Skinny, Raise the Bar, Girls Who Lift, the usual suspects. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. But I'm also going to throw in there stuff like, what are girls doing that are also doing this? Well, I might do like Shop Lululemon or Project Noble, or some of like the clothes that they're wearing, or a brand of the jump rope or things like that, because I'm thinking of other things that they could be looking for that I could show up in that post for. And so maybe kind of think a little bit outside the box. And so I usually have like a baseline, like 15, 20 hashtags that I can go in there and I can copy and I can paste. And then some of them might not work for that post, and so I might delete it. And then there's some that I might add in, if I'm based, I might do "You're Killing Me" Smalls, or put me in coach, or, things that take me out to the ball, different things based on that number of hashtags. So I just kind of be thinking through that, but those hashtags are super helpful in people finding you, and then you finding people that you might have some common ground with. I would encourage you to be thinking about a brand. Like, who are you outside of Plexus? What were you like? What did you like before you did Plexus? And a lot of times that just scares people for me to ask them. Like, I don't have anything. Like, I'm boring, or I don't do anything, or what is it? And mom, like when you're thinking about those 3 E's: encourage, educate, entertain. It could be you like funny quotes, or there's something about your faith that you're sharing, or you're encouraging and you're motivating people or inspiring people. And that can be one. I think my kind of little thing that I have in my bio or whatever on Instagram says faith-focused fan mom, fitness novice, and fashionista next door. And so one thing that I love, like clothes and earrings and makeup and stuff like that. And I get questions on that a lot. And so when my, Plexus bestie, life bestie, Elizabeth James, she's my sponsor. She's a diamond in Plexus. We were talking about it, and she's like, you're going to have to start posting about clothes, and you need to put those on your blog. And and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know, And, but it has been a way I've gained just in the last couple of weeks. I've been blogging about it and, talking about it and all that. And I've gotten more followers, and people are, sending me all kinds of messages about it and liking what I'm putting on there. And I'm going, on one side, I'm like, I feel so shallow talking about clothes, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, if that's like, it's sometimes stuff that like feels easy or just fun for you. So maybe it's cooking or recipes or fitness, or you're a health guru and you know all these natural remedies, or you're a ball mom, or you're a homeroom mom. Or one of my friends, I was just helping her, and she's retired because of Plexus, but she's a preschool teacher, and she has 2 little toddlers. And I was like, what if, you are showing a couple times a week things that y'all are doing? Because she's doing all kinds of little crafts and little, basically homeschool kind of things that you can do with your, small kiddos that can help them and add value. I wouldn't know how to do that. I mean, that would be helpful to me. And she's been doing that and loving it. And I think just, if you don't know, then ask your mama, ask your couple besties, ask your husband, what am I good at? Like, sometimes it's hard to recognize our strengths, and, especially if there's some humility in you, that it might be hard, but there's something good there, and that other people would find value with as well. And so, and kind of limit those in. Because if those get really broad, then you could kind of lose some like brand loyalty. And so if you can kind of, don't just do like health and wellness, and that be Plexus and fitness and healthy eating and, using natural stuff. Like if that's too broad, like maybe kind of focus in on things, because then you can get really specific, and you can, when you keep using those hashtags, the same people are going to see them. And those people that are really kind of dialing in and listening to you, will get more of what they're looking for. And I mean, it's not to say that you try out a few kind of brands for 4 or 5 months, and then you go, this isn't, you might switch it up if that's just not working for you. But yeah, looking for a way to kind of streamline brand theme, just some continuation in your feed about ways to do that. And, this is just kind of like your marketing strategy. You're putting on your marketing hat, and how can I make this look good, look better, appeal to more people? Who's your target demographic? Who do you want to attract? We can put all those things on there about our kids, but what's going to be the value add for them? Because if they see value in you, and they're, continuing to like you, and I'm not talking about your mom and your sisters and the people that are going to love the post of your kids and all that. I'm talking about the network outside of that. And honestly, I had one of my friends say the other day, she said, I'm so worried about like what my warm market is going to think, that it's stopping me from really thinking, what would like the masses, like what would be the best thing for me here? And I think that's true. Like, don't get caught up in like, what are my friends going to think when I start doing this? I had to text my friend Elizabeth like 3 times this morning when I was posting my blog thing, going, I'm nauseated, I don't want to do it. I mean, I'm glad I didn't. Behind the scenes, when I'm seeing all the views of it on my blog, I'm knowing, okay, people are obviously seeing value in this if they're coming, and that it was already, my last blog had been on there for a week, and that today when I put it on there, it was almost as many as had looked at it in a whole week. So I'm like, okay, people are going to respond to things. I feel like more than you think that they are. So I would just say, put yourself out there. It's worth it. And when we're posting, we want to think about, I was saying something I wrote and I couldn't understand what I meant, but we still want to stay in that educate, entertain, encourage category. And remembering that facts tell and stories sell, and so if you're ever going to post something about a product, I feel like if I ever reached out to someone and I wanted to try something, I'm always going to tell back a fact with something with like a one-line testimony. So if I'm going to tell something about X Factor, then I'm going to say, yeah, it's a complete mineral now. We just added over 50 trace minerals. So it is a powerhouse multi, and I cannot believe how much my hair and nails are growing since I started taking this one. So I'm going to have a fact in there about it, and then I'm going to have something personal about it. And that's kind of how and so I would encourage you to do that when you're posting, and so those before and afters, those testimonies, those are going to mean the most to people. Now I will say, whenever I post something real plexusy, I leave it up for about 3 days and then I delete it. So if it's a big like call to action or anything like that, like I don't leave that up for very long, because I don't want people to see that and just quickly identify me as someone that's selling something. But stories, things like that, we know from all of our Kendra Hall teaching how much that helps. People are going to follow you if there's something in it for them, if there's value in it for them. So what can you give them, and sometimes, like, even if I'll post like when I look, so one I'm going to show you how to do is like look at your analytics of your pictures. And so, and it's not just me. I see this with other people. Like, one of the big things that people love to like and support is selfies. And so I try to tell myself that, like, in my blog, I want at least one selfie in there, but like if I'm looking for something, or if I'm posting a picture of like flowers or of me and my husband or something, I'll usually like go to Pinterest, or I'll think of like some song lyrics or something that I can put on there that I can add to that. So if you're kind of wondering, what can I put on there for content, sometimes like that's something that I'll do. I'll go look for like motivational quote, or quote about positivity, or quote about overcoming, or whatever it is, and that's kind of a good way to add value, and people kind of like that kind of stuff. I delete that. I'll kind of look too at my feed to know like what I want to post more of, and I'll see like, are there too many selfies, or am I posting too much about my kids or nature or other things, and I'm not in it? 'Cause people want to know, who you are. So I want to make sure I'm in it. Are there too many quotes? Are there not enough quotes? If I say I've got fitness up there, okay, am I posting anything about CrossFit? I just kind of try to keep looking at my grid, so I know what to post about. And there's definitely weeks where on my Sunday night, when I'm planning out my week, I'll go ahead and write, okay, Monday I'm going to share this healthy food post. Tuesday I'm going to post something about kindergarten graduation. Wednesday I'm going to post something about CrossFit. Like, I'll kind of have that out there. Now my stories are different, and I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second. But I do kind of put in the extra effort, or try to at least, for my wall. And I've heard Bridget Ryan say, your pictures that are on your main feed on Instagram, those are the pictures that you would like frame, or you would hang on the wall in your house. And the pictures that are in your story, well, those are just pictures that would be in your big Mondo photo album. Y'all remember our parents having those kind of things, but that you'd have those pictures, but they wouldn't be like special. And so that kind of helps me. But you're looking for ways for people to want to lean in, to say, oh yeah, me too, to find some familiarity, some just a way to relate to you and connect to you. And I can't remember if I said this on this call or the one that didn't record earlier, but they're going to tolerate more from you if you're adding value to them in another area. So if they're coming to you because you post great recipes, or because you give tips with your kids, or because you're doing fashion advice, or whatever it is, if they keep coming back for that, if you slip some Plexus post in there, they're gonna tolerate that more and really still get that extra exposure to where they finally might say, okay, so tell me about that, but it should be more about what can you give to them versus, okay, buy my stuff. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Okay, so I want to talk to y'all about the stories, and I'm going to share my screen here. Well, in just a second, I'm going to tell y'all a couple things about stories. Number one, there are over 300 million people consuming stories. That's a lot. That's a lot. And really, people are consuming more stories than they're actually scrolling their feed now, which makes sense, because if we're talking about even just what I was all, just saying about how that's kind of getting close to picture perfect, and it's all this, perfect pictures and all that. Well, one of the reasons people like social media is it's kind of giving you this behind the scenes, this allows you to kind of creep in and see things. And so the stories are just kind of all kinds of stuff. Now, I think that you should still kind of try to be in that, am I encouraging, entertaining, or educating on something? But it also is just like, dude, look at what is happening in my house right now. So basically your stories are pictures that expire. So they are going to, what's James Bond thing? They're like, they're going to combust something. I can't remember think about what I'm trying to say, but they are only going to last for 24 hours. So whenever you post it, it's going to expire. So you can do a 15-second video clip or a photo, and then you can add filters. You can add text. You can write on them or draw on them. You can add little GIFs, or you can add stickers, all these kind of things. And so it just generates interest. It's fun. It's funny. And I'll sit there and look through people's stories. I enjoy stories more than the deal. So if you're not looking at the stories, you should be. But it's basically a story of your day. You're saying, come on, come take a journey with me. I'm inviting you into my day. And so I'm always, I think it's so funny. There's a way to see, I'll show you, who's watching your stories. I'm always like, they're watching my stories? Like, that's funny. And so I like that. And, I'm still like a little bit scared of lives. Like, it makes me a little anxious. And now there is a live feature on Instagram. You can go live, and then you don't have to stay in the 15-second clip. But the live on Facebook feels a little like intrusive to me. Like all of a sudden it's just boom, in their feed. And I guess I feel like and I don't think you should feel like that. So I'm just being honest and vulnerable. I love when people are doing lives, and way to go. And we should all be doing them, because it's going to help your business, and with all the algorithms, and I think they're brilliant. So I'm not telling you to not do lives. I'm just telling you, I still get a little nervous about lives. And the people kind of have to opt into the stories. And they're just watching. So I like those better. So I want to tell you a little bit about that. And I really post more about Plexus in my stories than I do on my feed. I mean, I do post about, there, but I get way more return from my Plexus post on my stories. And I'll tell you why I think that is. And this is just in my head. I think that people, when they're looking at your content, like your post is coming up, and if they like it or they comment, other people can see them doing that, right? But with the story, it's a private message. And so you can put stuff on there, and then it's kind of impulsive. It's like, oh, I saw that. Now I'm just going to go ahead and hurry and respond. And it's this direct message, and no one knows that they've responded. They've said anything to you about that. And so anyway, most of my, I probably have 15 or so, nothing like some of these new girls that are like majorly blowing up Instagram right now and doing such a great job, but like 15-ish, new like customers and stuff from Instagram this year. And, basically they're all coming from my from my stories. And so I think this is like the perfect place to throw in some flexes. And because stories you're posting typically so much more frequently, like I'm kind of really posting like once a day on my Instagram feed. And so it kind of takes me a few days to be able to weave in another plexus post. On Instagram, I'm in all my stories, I'm posting, 5 to 12 to 15, somewhere in there, stories a day. So I can sneak in some plexus posts. And there's still lots of other stuff going on. So anyway, that's my thought on that. But, so best opportunity to have a reality show of your day. Kind of is. Don't overthink these. This is stuff that you wouldn't put on your Facebook wall, maybe your Instagram feed, but it's still like fun and cute and someone might like it. And so you put that on there. But I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting anything before I go to where you really are, that I can't kind of talk to you, because I'm showing you my whole deal. The only thing that I will say too is on your Instagram, on your stories, you still want to show your face. And that can be kind of hard. Like if you're kind of scared to like want to put, like be talking, I wouldn't do like a whole lot of talking things. But people will really like respond to the talking ones. And I think it's good to like turn that camera around and talk to them. So if you're going to be like showing your kids do something, go ahead and set the scene. Go ahead and say, like, it be on you and say, hey, I'm at so-and-so's dance recital, and I just wanted to show y'all all the cuteness going on right now. And you only got 15 seconds, but so that might have taken 4 or 5 of your seconds, but then tap the thing that turns it around and span the room. Or if you're cooking dinner and you want to kind of set the stage, let them see you so they can remember who they're talking to, who's liking them, they're connecting with you, and not just showing the pictures of everything going on around you. And so that does take some bravery, but it's important. Okay. So now I'm going to try this share your screen thing again, which I think I can do. Yes. Okay. So this is, oh, there's my cute friend, Kristen Aber. Okay. I want to show y'all how to do your stories. Okay. So if you're like brand new and you're going, what is this? So see all those little circles at the top that have their picture and then their name underneath it. Those are your stories. And so like, here's Kristen Aber. So we'll just show you hers. See, so she's got little quotes. She's been doing this thing where she has daily tips every day. And so she's doing that. Oh, here's Melissa Eichenhorst. She's showing a thank you card and her bedtime ritual and cute. Oh, she's on the opportunity tour. So she's kind of showing different things. So basically it's just showing you the little snippets of people's day. So whether it's a photo, oh, look, this is a boomerang. So whether it's a photo, it's a little boomerang video like this, and whatever, so it's just kind of little cute, like, okay, so this is my sweet friend that, she has a little, a t-shirt store, and she makes t-shirts and all this stuff. I mean, it's not little, it's kind of big time now, but she just redid her kitchen. So like, she's showing, look, she's like tagged all these cute things, and she's saying, look, she's got, she's showing cute things about her house, and people like to know that. And I guarantee you she's getting tons of messages saying, where'd you get your rug? Where'd you get your lamp? Where'd you get this? And so she's showing that. So anyway, that's there. That's an ad. Okay. So here is your story. Okay. This is your main, if you logged in right now and you were looking at this, then how you would make a story is you would tap on that top little camera on the top. Okay. And so, hey, so that's showing me my camera, and it's on the selfie mode right now. So you have a couple options of how you can post. Okay. So first you could just type something. You could just, you could kind of tell a story. Now remember that people only have a few seconds to read it. Now I will show you this little thing, because I probably should have showed you this just a second ago. Okay, so like if I was looking at Sarah Taylor's thing, you can hold down on it. If I press down on my story, like if someone had a lot of something to read and you wanted to read it, or you wanted to like see everything that was going on in the moment, you didn't want it to disappear, then if you just hold it down, then it's going to pause. Or like if your kid comes in and asks you a question, you're like wanting to pause what you're doing, you can hold your finger down and that's going to pause it for you. Okay. You also, if you tap it on the right side of the screen, that's going to make it go forward. If you tap it on the left side of the screen, that's going to take you back if you miss something. If you're like, I'm over this story, this person's on my nerves, I'm going to go to the next one, then you swipe and it goes to the next person. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in just a second because I want to show you something cool about that. So just remember all that swiping and exiting and all that. Okay. So now I just exited that again. Okay. So let's say that I have this, this picture here. Okay. So let's say that I'm going to do I'm just going to do a picture. Hey. Okay. So I've done a picture. I took it, and if you see, up at the top, I have those two little links. That's if I want to link something to this, like a hyperlink, and you have to have a certain amount of followers to be able to have that feature. But then the next one is the little square with the little happy face deal. That is going to give you all of this fun stuff. So you can put stickers on there. You can put, like I could put the temperature. I seriously think my heat is on in my house right now. Like I'm burning up, just so y'all know. And it's 80 degrees outside. So, okay. So then I could drag that down the trash can if I didn't like it. Okay. So look, also, if you, let's say I've got that temperature thing on there. If I tap it, it's going to give me other options of the temperature. So whether it, I want the little sun and clouds on there, or Celsius or whatever. Okay. So then I can drag that down there. Same thing with the time. I could put the time on there to kind of give it a time stamp. I can tap it and it will do that same thing. I've got stickers. Okay. I've got gifts, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to add a little heart to this. And it kind of just puts a little animated so you can pinch it or stretch it out. And so that just kind of adds a little fun to it. Okay. So that's fun. Okay. This is good to know. So you can, this allows you this. Okay. So you could always just type if there were different people in the picture and you wanted to say like, oh, here's Kristen Abart, and you wanted to put her picture on there, whatever, or you're tagging her, you want to tell her something, whatever. Or you can use, it doesn't matter which one, but you can only use this particular little sticker, the app mentioned thing, one time. You could write it and tag people, like type it out several times, but they'll only let you do this little sticker deal once. So let's say that I wanted to do, hey at Hubs. And so I can do that, or I can do my location. So I might put that on there. Let me tell you a couple things about this. So one reason that you might tag someone is, let's say like a couple weeks ago, I was at a Brad Paisley concert. And so every time that he would come out and I took a picture of him or did a video of him or any of the other performers, I would tag them in the picture. And the reason I was doing that was not because I thought Brad Paisley was going to shoot me a message and say, hey, thanks for the shout out. No, it was so that when people were searching for him, my picture would come up because I tagged him in that. Same thing if I hashtagged him or whatever. And so I'll do that. Same thing with the location. I try to always do a geotag of the location. And like last weekend, I was at a ball tournament and I kept hashtagging South Haven, Mississippi. And Eli, my husband, he was showing me like later that night or the next day, he's like, look, South Haven featured you. And on their Instagram, anyone that had been tagging South Haven, they reposted my picture, or somehow it linked to my picture that I'd used. So anyway, that's a feature there. This poll is funny. You could say, anything that you wanted to really, but I'm so over this, but you can put this. And then what's funny is like, so then every single person that comes through, they'll vote. And whenever they vote, when they tap on Yanni or Laurel or whatever, they will, it'll break it down for them and it'll tell them not how many people, what the percentage of voters had already said. And so it's just kind of a little fun thing. And it breaks down for you in your analytics that I'll show you how to look at, who voted what. And so, you could use that for, have you tried Joyome yet? Yes or no, or who wants a Joyome sample? And then you could edit the thing to say, already got mine, or send me one, or whatever. And so with people that were putting that on there, then you could go back and say, hey, I saw you voted for this and I want to send you something. So anyway, that's that. I'm confused on this one. Oh, yeah, I'm not really sure how that one works. So someone can shoot me a message and tell me what that is. I saw Celeste using it the other day. I meant to ask her, what is it? Yeah, so in any of these, like, you can tap them a lot of times and they'll be a little different deals. Okay, anything else on here? Yeah, so there's emojis down there. Or like you could put, I'm giving all this annoying details, so I'm sorry. Like if you're talking, or if like, this is a crazy example, but let's say like your dog or your kid's snoring and you're doing a video and you say sound on because you want to make sure they're like, something funny is happening in this video here. Okay. Anything of interest? I mean, you could do stuff like, our before and afters, and you could do before, and then you could even write Joyome, and then you could do the after on the next picture, Okay, so I hope this all, well, here, I'll show you these. Like, there's different, you can draw, so like that one's a neon-y one. Well, that's the eraser, but that one's kind of chalky. I mean, you can pick your picture down there. And so, not your picture, your font color. So let's say that you, I can't like talk and do things at the same time, but let's say that you, here, scary. Okay. So let's say I'm doing a picture or whatever, and I want to draw on it. So I'm going to draw a heart, then I would, what am I trying to tell y'all? Oh, no. Okay. I can change the color of my font, but if I'm like not loving that shade of orange and I want more like a peach or something like that, like I can roll around until I find the exact color that I want. So that's kind of fun. Okay. So then, just so you know, like whenever you're looking at this, I need to get this hemmed. Okay. Whenever you're looking at this, you can type something, you can go live, and then there's not like a time crunch or something, 15 seconds, and people can view live just like on Facebook and all that. Then there's normal, which is just taking a normal picture or a normal video. There's boomerang, which y'all have seen these, that some people are doing the like, and then it basically just plays a little video on a loop like that, so that's how you do a boomerang. And I don't know what focus is. Super zoom. I think these are hilarious. I really do. Okay. So let's say that I wanted to look. Okay. So let's say that I wanted to show y'all this right here. This is my mail stuff to send to somewhere. I don't even know where. Dun, 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 dun. So the music like makes it funny. And there's several different options for the super zoom, which I think are hilarious. Like the beats, I guess because I have it plugged in, it won't play it, but like it's funny, but it's kind of, and then like the TV show one's really cute. Like you could show a picture of like one of your kids or something, and you could do, and it like makes the like TV show music. I'm easily entertained. Okay. So, that's super cute. So those are, I think, most of those things that I wanted to show y'all. And again, this is just fun and easy. It's not like, you know, this can be silly. It can show personality. And I want to show y'all how you can build, because I feel like that it kind of creates interest, and it's just kind of a fun thing. And people ask me how to do this all the time. So I'm going to show you. Okay. So let's say that you want to, oh, look, I went dress shopping. Okay. You've got a picture and you want to show, okay, I'll just do this. Okay. Oh, but look, if you use an old picture that's not from today, it's going to ask you, it's going to tell you like the day that you put the picture on there. Just recently, are you even allowed to use pictures that you hadn't taken in the last 24 hours? Okay. So here's a picture of me in my dress, and it'll let you, you know, pinch and zoom and all that. Okay. So let's say if I said, dress shopping. Okay. So I put that on there, right? And so I put that on there, and I'm going to change my font by typing on this, which is fun. And I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to say dress shopping. Another thing you can do when you're doing that is, like, if you want to, like if it's, let's say that you can't really see it in there, or like if it was white font, then you could, by touching the, that, it gives it like a background. You can change the color and all that. Some of them will let you do it. Some of them will not. So anyway, that's how you do that. And okay, so I'm going to say dress shopping. And then the other thing that I see people do is this, like they'll, and you can edit your pen size by going up or down over here, but they'll, you know, they'll make a blurb like that, and then they'll put type over it. So whatever. Does that make sense? Like they'll do it like that. And so that way you can, it just kind of generates interest or whatever. Okay. So let's say dress shopping. Okay. So now, because I want to do a building picture, so I want to stay on the same photo, but I'm going to build text so that maybe they have enough time to read it, and just kind of generates interest, right? Okay. So I'm going to save this picture before I post it. Okay. So I've got this picture made, and I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to post it to my story. Then I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to go get that picture that I just posted. And now I'm going to add, like, have I got something for you? Or something like that, you know? And I got something for you. So then I would post that. And so let me show you what this is going to do. You know, then I would say, like, check out my blog or something. So I would do this. So like, here's me, I'm tapping through. So that says dress shopping. And like the next one, have I got something for you? So do you see how that kind of just creates interest? Now I'm deleting these. Another thing that you can do is whenever you have your favorite stories, you can make highlights on your post. So like I love tacos. So like I made a cover photo. Here's something you need to know about this. Your highlights are going to be in chronological order. So if you want to put a cover photo on here before you ever put anything else about tacos, you've got to put the photo in there first. I feel like this is confusing. You have to upload. And so what I did is I like put a caution cone out there, and I said on my story, and I said, stories under construction today, working on my highlights. And so I loaded these. I made my highlights. Then I did stuff about tacos because I love tacos, or about being a ball mom or whatever, and just some of my like favorite stories. And you can edit these or whatever. So you get the picture. Okay, those are highlights. And okay, so I showed you how to do those building slides. I showed you how to do the thing. Oh, another thing that you can do is, let's say that I did a okay. Okay. You can slide. Basically, what I'm trying to show you. You can slide. That's bizarre. Okay. So you can slide, and you're going to get extra filters by sliding. So you can do black and white or however you want to do that. I showed, oh, this is kind of a fun little doodad. if you want to like do some fun things to like stack your, let's say that we did, okay, so I've got that, and I've got my, let's say I've got my color here, okay? So then I'm going to do it, you can do it again, copy and paste, oops, there. So I'm gonna change it just a little bit, and so then I can kind of do this like fun effect on my, I'm not doing it well, doesn't need to be that way. I'm not good at doing stuff under pressure. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then it kind of like layers the font. So if you wanted to do something like that, again, some of these are just for fun and just to show you how to do things like that. Okay, people ask me like, how many stories do you need to do a day? And I mean, you could do 3, you could do 15. Like sometimes if I'm doing like a building post, because those are each going to look like different posts of when I go back and get the picture I saved and add more text to it and stuff. I did baseball mom there, sorry. Then I might do more. If I did some building posts like the Plexus post or whatever, then I might do more. But I kind of go for 5 to 7 is kind of my goal. But again, some days there's more, some days there's less. One tip that I'm going to show you this one thing first. Okay, so one thing that I would tell you to do is to make a business Facebook account, and I'll tell you why. It is because, I'm just going to put that down for a second. Okay, it is because when you do the, just make a business profile, you don't have to ever post anything on it. I've done this, I've never posted on it. I've just linked it to my page because it gives you, it's free. You can just, it's super simple to go edit your profile and make it a business profile and link it to something on Facebook. And it allows you extra analytics. It should be able to tell you different things that you wouldn't be able to know otherwise. I'll show you what. And it allows you to, I'm not trying to say promote posts. Like you could pay a few dollars to boost your post out there. So that's helpful. Okay. So your analytics. Okay. So let's look at your story. So here's like a, something that I did. Okay. So if you barely will swipe up, it's going to show you some things here. So 718 people have seen this story. What just happened? Okay. Okay. It said something, Zoom was trying to restart. And I was like, did I just lose this whole thing? Okay. So 718 people have seen the story. Okay. 21 people went back. Like they wanted to see something that was the post behind it. So they went and looked back. 567 people continued on to the next story. They went forward. 39 people swiped and said, I'm over this person. I'm going to go look at the next person. And 41 people exited Instagram altogether. Okay. So that's kind of helpful. And then the other thing is you can click, see where it says the 609 at the top, right under the picture. If you tap on that, then it's going to show me all these people that have been looking at my story. So I know that they're all watching. And so again, that's helpful. Okay. So then here are some other things. Okay. So you can look up here and you can, if you have a business profile, then you can click on your analytics. Okay. So it's showing me that 2,216 people have tapped on my profile in the last 6 days. So it's showing me, like, do you see on that graph? Like it's showing me who has what days of the week are I'm getting the most engagement. You know, it's showing me the different, I'm trying to find, it's showing me how many people are seeing a lot of my posts. It lets me see engagement on my stories. It lets me see my all these different things that would be super helpful in knowing. It shows me like what the percentage of people that are like what their age group is. On different posts, it's showing me more men and women, where most of my followers are from, all those kinds of things. And so that's super helpful. Okay, so then the last thing that I just want to tell you that I thought was interesting was I was watching a Bob Heilig training the other day, and he said, what if instead of uploading, this is just an idea. I'm not sure really how I feel about this. I'll tell you my pro and my con, I guess. But he said, what if instead of posting throughout the day, you went ahead, you went into your story, and I showed y'all how to save the picture, how to save the post. And so you did whatever you were going to do. You made the video, you made the post, whatever. And then at the end, you just saved it. And then at night, before you went to bed, you uploaded every single one of those posts that you wanted to add to your story. And so in doing that, it would allow you to, whenever people are looking at your story, they could watch it all in one deal. Because a lot of times you post something and then they don't see the next thing for like an hour because they've gotten off Instagram and you've added something else. And so it lets them view it in one whole setting your whole day. So I like that idea because then they would see the whole thing. And then the other part of me says there's something to people that want to, they want to know that it's live. I like looking at it and saying, oh, she's there right now. She's at the airport, or she just landed, or they're at the pool, whatever. I kind of like that. And I think it adds to that. And I don't know, but I totally get that. And I see it and I'm like, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. So, also I would tell you, you're not getting nearly as many views and it's not mattering as much on Facebook. Way less people watch stories on Facebook than on Instagram. All this stuff generally applies, but, not necessarily, as important. So anyway, okay. That's a lot of information. I feel like I might have overdone it, but those are all kind of tips, things people ask me about. And I really do think that stories are huge because people reach out more. And then, and I would tell you, just like on Facebook, you should be reaching out to people. I reach out to people all the time. If someone new likes something that I said or they comment, then I'll just shoot them a message and say, hey, thanks for the like on my post. Have you ever tried Plexus before?
Mom?
Yeah. I'm getting a kid.
Somebody's at the door.
Oh, okay. I'll be right there.
Okay.
So anyway, I hope those are helpful and that those help you in your Instagram journey.